Okay, Shalom family. Before we get into it, let me first make sure you all can hear and see nice and clearly. And once that's established, we'll get right into it. But first, I want to make sure all is well. All right, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom to you all who are currently with us. Again, before we get into it, I want to make sure you all can hear. All right, all is clear. Shalom, Elder Dell. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters who are out there, who are currently watching this, as well as those who are going to happen upon this in the future. All right. All right, so all is good. All is good. Okay, so let's get into it. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise and honor to the Most High Ahaya, Bahashem Yeshai Warawak, for allowing us to come before you for another Friday Patreon check-in. Today, I'm going to be filling in for Elder Rikash Yar. And in today's broadcast on Patreon, we're going to be dealing with a question and answer segment. So if you have any questions, any biblical questions you would like to ask, please feel free to ask those as we transition over to the next portion of this, which will be through Patreon. Again, shalom to the brothers and sisters who are coming in. All right, it's a blessing to see you all. And yes. All right, someone says the volume is low. Let me make a quick adjustment just to make sure that's fine. I'm going to make sure that's good before we get into it. All right. All right, that should be better. All right, but just confirm with me if things are still low. I'll try to make as many adjustments as I can on my end, but for the most part, people are saying that things are fine. So I'm going to go with that. So yes, today we're going to be answering any questions you may have biblically. So if there's any questions you've been wanting to ask, please feel free to get those questions prepared and ready as we go over to the other side. But while we're here, and we're only going to be on this side, on the YouTube side, for a few minutes, just to give brothers and sisters an opportunity to know exactly what we're doing today. And once we get a good number in, we'll make the transition. But while we're waiting to transition, we just want to remind you that we are in the 5th week of the Hebrew and Bible Academy. And as you all know, for those who are in the Academy, you know that the theme of this segment, or this the theme for this portion of the Academy that we're currently in, has been history and archaeology. So as the weeks have been going by, we've been trying to make sure that we implement and put forward information from the biblical perspective, but also lining it up with the archaeology and the history, okay? That's even on the outside of the Bible. The topic we're going to be discussing this coming week, or this Sunday, is the split between Israel and Judah. We're going to go through the history of our kingship. How did the kingship come about? What happened that caused a divide in the kingship? But also, what we're going to do more so for this particular academy is we're going to focus on that in-between history. Usually, we start off with us becoming a nation, coming out of Egypt, leading up to the kingship, when our people start asking for a king, in the spirit of rebellion and desiring to want to be like the nations. We go through that portion. We start with Saul. We see what happened with Saul's kingship. Then we jump over to David, knowing that David was the king after the Most High's heart. And as it was prophesied, we know that eventually Judah would rise up and become the kings of the nation of Israel. So we go into that history. And from David, we usually jump to Solomon. We show a little bit of Solomon's wisdom, his greatness as king, but then we delve into Solomon's sin and how Solomon's sin was the cause of the split of the nation, how the nation was divided into two. Some of the tribes remained in the southern kingdom, and for those who are not familiar with that terminology, we're going to be discussing that tomorrow. What do we mean when we say southern kingdom versus the northern kingdom? Okay, Also, we're going to discuss, excuse me, what do we mean when we say Israel versus Judah? What is the difference between Judah and Israel if Judah is one of the many tribes of Israel? Okay, what does that mean? Judah versus Israel, or, the history between Judah and Israel. We're going to touch on that as well. Okay, what's the difference for those who may not know? But getting back to the point, usually when we discuss that history, we delve into Solomon's sin. From Solomon's sin, we jump over to the history of how that began to play out in the kingship, specifically jumping over a few hundred years into the time of the northern kingdom being removed from the land of Israel into the land of Assyria to serve their captivity. Okay? But what we want to try to do in this particular segment of the Academy is give a little bit of background history or a little bit more in-depth history on the kingship. Not just Saul, not just David, not just Solomon, but providing a list of the kings that fall in between, what the Bible says about their rulership. Were they righteous kings? Were they evil kings? Some of the acts that these kings performed as they're documented in the history of Kings and Chronicles and Samuel, so on and so forth. Okay? But also, outside of just the kings that are documented in the Bible, and before I jump to that point, also we're going to be providing some archaeological points to show that there's archaeology on the outside of the Bible which attests to the time of Saul, which attests to David, which attests to Solomon. Okay, so we're going to show some of that history in tomorrow's Academy. But along with the kings that are documented in the Bible, the Sauls, the Davids, the Solomons, the Rehoboams, the Jeroboams, the Hezekiahs, the Asas, and all of those various kings you find documented in the Bible, the Josiahs and so on and so forth. We're also going to touch on the Hasmonean dynasty. Okay? Many of you know them as the Maccabees. Okay? Who we refer to as the Maccabees, as they're documented in the book of Maccabees, that family actually became a dynasty in which they served as both high priest, but they also served in some regard, some level of kingship. Okay? So we're going to touch on that in tomorrow's Academy. All right? So if you're interested in being a part of what we're going to be addressing and dealing with and bringing out historically, archaeologically, biblically, then you can feel free to go to historytimes.org and you can get all the information you need there on how to participate in the Academy. Again, we're only in week number 5. We just officially closed out week 4, which closes off week or month number 1 of the Academy. So we finished that. We're now officially entering into month number 2. And for those who have been in it, I'm going to let you all know that it's going to only get better from here. And for those who are interested, I'm going to let you all know as well that things are only going to get better from here. So, again, if you're interested, go to historytimes.org. And there you'll get all the information you need on how to participate in the Academy. All right. Okay, for those who are filing in, those who are now coming in, I want to let you all know that we are doing a question and answer segment on the other side. Okay, once we get to the Patreon side, we're going to open up the discussion for you all to be able to pose any questions that you may have had biblically. All right, we're going to try to answer as many as we can within an hour. All right. All right, one moment here. All right. Also, as you come in, please hit the like button. All right, so that we can drive the traffic. Let others know that we're currently About to go over to the other side. We're about to hit the Patreon side to again answer your questions for those who are subscribed to Patreon. And that's pretty much it. Okay, as far as announcements. Okay. All right. Again, as you come on in, hit the like button. All right, so we can drive the traffic. In a few moments, we're going to be heading over. In about 2 minutes, we're going to head over to the Patreon side. All right. All right, just one moment. I want to make sure we have everything set up here. All right, and if anyone is wondering, I am filling in for Elder Akash Yar, who will, if it be the Most High's will, be back. Also, if it be the Most High's will, you'll see us both together tomorrow for the Sabbath lesson, so please stay tuned for that. All right. All right, someone says they're joining the Academy later. All praises be to the Most High, and thank you for your support. For those who are in the Academy, thank you for your support. For those who have continually been in the Academy, thank you for your support. We can't say that enough. We cannot do what we do without your support. So again, we would like to thank you and give all thanks and praise to the Most High for allowing us to even have this time and the information to be able to bring forth and to educate our brothers and sisters on another level. All right. All right. At this time, we're going to transition over to the Patreon side. So for those who are currently subscribed to Patreon, I'm going to see you on the other side where we're going to be answering your biblical questions. So again, I thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your prayers. And bless you all. And shalom. All right, we're now moving over to Patreon.
Never gives in. Always there with you to the very end. Your love found me out in the world so cold, sick of trying to make it on my own. When I was a child, spoke as a child, but now I know what the old talking about. Encompasses all of who I am. The virtues I possess were made at your hand. When my soul is feeling weak, on you I depend. To the hills I can look and there you stand. Strong tower, higher, my healer, provider. When I fall, redeemer. Whoever thought I'd find a love like you? Lover of my soul. soul. Satan can't have me no more. Indescribable, immeasurable, unconditional. That's your love. Sacrifice. You send your comfort. Worldwide only resort. Every day gotta try to get it right. I owe you my life, I'm a living sacrifice. You send your comfort. Worldwide only resort. Every day gotta try to get it right. I owe you my life, I'm a living sacrifice. You send your comfort.